You're here with the Mouse Vibes, and we're back at Universal Studios Hollywood for a theme park update.
Yes!
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, welcome back to another Mouse Vibes video. So stoked to be back at Universal Studios Hollywood. There's a ton of stuff going on in the park. Let's just get right into it.
You like that?
This is gonna be a massive update as there's so much going on inside the park right now. So let's show you the latest construction with the Fast and Furious coaster.
And I can't tell you how excited he is.
All the work going on at the Universal Plaza as it transitions into the Grinchmas celebration that starts in just 1 week. But first, let's talk about all the work going on just across the way.
What tree is that over there?
That's New York, sir.
New York Street is almost unrecognizable, and today we get our first reveal of the brand new exteriors for the boxing gym and the potential restaurant coming to New York Street. Here's a look of what this space looked like back in June, and as you can see, it was in much need of some TLC. The paint was super faded from the sun beating down on it.
Oh my God.
And overall, I like the upgrade. They also added these window decals to this first building, giving it some personality. And honestly, I don't ever remember seeing those windows exposed. There's a giant metal frame on the outside of that building, and it looks like they refurbed that sign as well. This frame used to house the sign for the 1964 World's Fair in New York. Comment down below, do you think the sign is also getting refurbed, or we should expect a new sign for New York Street?
New York City, the land of opportunity. Smell that?
Yeah, that's wet paint because the 14th Avenue gym just got a brand new paint job. This bright Kelly green paint job is giving me Italian vibes, go along with the neighborhood. Kind of like Rocky, right? All right, here's a look back at that window display in June, and as you can see, the display was tired, and it's crazy how far a little bit of paint can take you. Also, comment down below, does anyone know the Easter egg in this window? Be a contender?
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody.
Brando. There's actually a ton more Easter eggs in this window that we'll get to in another video. Moving on, let's get back over to this building on the corner. This has been heavily rumored to be a bunch of different things, and as of right now, Universal still hasn't announced what it is. Last week, team members were sizing up a potential sign to go to this location that reads Power Up, and that left many guests wondering, are we getting another addition to Super Nintendo World on the upper lot? Could this be a restaurant? What could it be? I'm confident in saying this is probably not another merchandise store for Super Nintendo World, as we have the feature store and the Universal Studio store that have a ton of Super Nintendo merch already, and they're like 15 feet apart, literally. I've also heard a ton of rumors that this is a power-up cafe, and it might be a themed restaurant outside of Super Nintendo World. No way! But I don't think that's the case either. Over at Universal Japan, they do have a restaurant outside of Super Nintendo World called the Mario Cafe that serves pancake sandwiches for Mario and Luigi and fruity Italian cream sodas, similar to the ones that you can find on the lower lot already. Personally, I think the Power Up Cafe is going to be more of a grab-and-go restaurant that does serve deli sandwiches, similar to the market on French Street and the Palace Theater. And the reason why I'm leaning more towards a restaurant for this area is that this space has a kitchen attached already. All I know is I want to be able to get pastrami sandwiches whenever I want, and if they serve breakfast, we better get...
I need my bacon, egg, and cheese too. You got the good super flat?
Bacon, egg, and cheese. Bacon, egg, and cheese. Let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Alright, let's switch gears and talk about the major construction going on in the upper lot for the Fast and Furious roller coaster. You can really see this thing from every vantage point.
You know this ain't no 10-second race.
The pace of this project is absolutely insane. So much work has gotten done since our last update video. Oh, this is something I've never seen before. To the left of the starway, there was a team that was actually drilling into the ground. I'm not sure if this piping is for electrical or water. Comment down below and let me know what you think.
Dale.
Power tools.
Dale, no power tools.
And on the other side of the starway, construction continues. Workers were drilling deep into the ground yet again, and this is work that we've been seeing all over this hillside. What they're doing is drilling these super deep holes into the ground, moving the dirt out of the way, and then another team operating a crane lifts this huge metal beam, and this metal beam is actually going to go in the hole that they just drilled out. This is basically to set up the foundation for the future roller coaster coming to this area. And the cool thing about this is I was sitting here, it only took about 3 minutes for them to lift the beam, put it in place, and get onto the next hole. How cool is that? And then moving back to the other side of the hill, this is the final result of them drilling the holes and placing those beams into the foundation of the ground. But that's honestly just scratching the surface of all the work that's going on this hillside. There's actually another team that completely flattened out the lower portion of this hill. It's really cool to see the amount of layers that they've created for this roller coaster. And there's another team yet again. This guy's whole responsibility is just packing in the dirt. He's got this huge machine just to keep the dirt down, and I'm guessing this is to prevent dust from flying in the air, one, and to make sure that the ground is completely solid. And again, all of these workers are busting their butt. They're starting from 7 a.m. and leaving at 7 p.m. It's a nice 12-hour day, and after a long day of this, these guys definitely deserve a nice break, maybe a cold beer.
Utah, give me 2.
Following them over to the Minion section of the park, you're able to see this huge trench that they've built on this side as well. We were over here earlier, and this is one of the foundation spots that we had seen before where they were drilling the holes and then filling it with cement.
Wow, what a hole.
It also looks like they created an emergency staircase that leads from the fire road all the way down to this platform. So whatever is going into this hole right over here must be super important.
And what would you know about it?
Let's talk about some miscellaneous construction going around the park. Recently, the Super Silly Funland splash pad opened up just in time for the winter celebration. This thing has a fresh coat of paint, and it's a little abandoned right now due to the cold weather. But just right across the way at the Minions Cafe, things are looking a little bit more festive. They recently changed out all the window displays and decals to match the Christmas vibes. But my favorite decoration has to be this huge Minion tree. This is my favorite Christmas tree inside Universal Studios Hollywood. I mean, look how cute this thing is. There's actual Minions on the tree.
City bus! City bus! Coming!
It's an old friend. The melted snowman is usually on New York Street, but it's all wrapped up. Is this signs that New York Street is gonna be closed throughout the holidays? I won't say anything. Comment down below and let me know what you think. Moving on, let's talk about all the holiday decorations being set up at the Universal Plaza. This area is going to be the hub for the Grinchmas celebration.
No! Yo!
This part of the park definitely has the best Christmas decorations in my opinion, and this was super cool. We got to watch this team member go up on a cherry picker and actually set up the Christmas tree. How cool is that? Honestly, you couldn't pay me enough to go up there and set up those giant balls on that Christmas tree, but I guess somebody has to do it, right?
Right.
I also love how wonky and huge this Christmas tree is. You can literally point it out from every angle of the park. Even the classic Universal monsters like Frankenstein and the Bride are trying to check out what's going on in this area. And just right around the corner, the Monsters house from Halloween Horror Nights is behind walls and should be completely removed soon. As sad it is to say goodbye to Monstros, it was our favorite house at Halloween Horror Nights. It's always nice knowing that the Parisian Courtyard will open back up. I feel like this area is closed like 99% of the year, so this is like the 2-month window we can enjoy the courtyard. And I feel like it's also one of the best kept secrets here at Universal Studios Hollywood. The absolute best part about getting here early for all these updates is the studio tram tour never has a wait in the morning. So let's get on the tour, find out all the updates, and obviously this is the best right here, right?
You know that.
Before we get on the studio tram tour, just a heads up. The lower level studio tour restroom accessibility ramp is still temporarily closed. It looks like they're widening out this path and repaving it. So right now there's a giant green wall that runs the length of this restroom. But just a heads up, the restrooms are still open if you need to use it.
Alright.
It doesn't feel like this is a high priority on the list as there's so much construction going around the park. I would guess this project will wrap up by the end of the year. There's not a ton of work going on the studio tram tour right now. It looks like the team over at Universal recently cleared out stage 15, which was the home to the Stranger Things maze for Halloween Horror Nights. And right around the corner, the tent for the holidays and Hell Maze is still up. Work on this project is visibly slower, but I imagine this should be cleared out before the Grinchmas celebration. Oh, this is just a shot of Bruce, which is always mandatory when you get on the studio tram tour, but this time I shot it on a 0.5 angle wide lens. Moving on with some more Halloween Horror Night updates, it looks like the facade for the exterminators on the Terror Tram is almost completely removed. There's just a few props left out, so they should have that wrapped up soon, but it looks like there's a good amount of work going on the Bates Motel. It looks like they ripped out this back section of the motel to do a little refurb. Comment down below, do you think this is from damage from the Halloween Horror Nights, or is just routine maintenance? Either way, it's great to see the Bates Motel return to its original state. Honestly, this is one of the most iconic parts of the entire studio tram tour, and it shouldn't be long before we see Norman Bates terrorizing guests. It's hard to kind of see through all of these trees. You can see in the very back, the corner of the building is completely ripped out. All right, and that's gonna wrap up our day and our update here at Universal Studios Hollywood. Obviously, there's a ton going on inside the park with construction with the Fast and the Furious, and the Grinchmas celebration is just a week away. You guys definitely need to go check it out. It's running all the way through the end of the year. It's one of our favorite celebrations here at the park. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps us grow, and if not, thanks for stopping by.